Yeah, hey, I might take off on you peons and go with the beats. I'm a star.
And we are dreaming here on the Ask Us Sports Podcast. Today we are going to be with our boy Brandon George. He is the first guest on the Ask Us Sports Podcast, and of course we've got my man Viggy Betts, and of course Kenbo, Jay, Slice. Looks like we all got the memo on the blue. Brandon, how are we doing today?
Excellent. Thank you, boys, very much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ken and Andy, tell me about it. How's everything been?
We're back another week. How you doing,
That's
Shane?
right. I'm happy to be here as always.
Let's get going. It's good to see you guys.
Absolutely. And again, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're super excited to have you. Let's go ahead and roll right into it. So the Celtics, Ken, they hired Ime Udoka. What are your thoughts?
Ime Udoka. Yeah, so Ime, I honestly don't know much about him. I know he's a former player. I know he's he's been, I think, fairly well respected around the league. So, I think the biggest thing coming in here is that we need somebody that's going to connect. I've said it many times. We need somebody that's going to connect with Tatum and connect with Jalen. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion, somebody who can mesh with them, command their respect, but also sort of, gel together and create some magic that we haven't had here in quite a while. I'm a little skeptical because his last couple of seasons, although be it as an assistant coach, have not ended well from Brooklyn and Philadelphia. We don't need any more of those kind of playoff flops. I think as long as he's got that winner's mentality, he comes in, he can help. It's really more about what Brad does next in terms of filling in these cracks. We still need a point guard, still need some front court depth. I'd like to see them bump Jalen and Tatum back one position in terms of into the backcourt. So put Tatum at 3 and Jalen at 2, perhaps. We'll see how it really goes. But I was trying to see, what kind of coach is he going to be in terms of gelling with star power. And I did find something fairly interesting in that apparently LaMarcus Aldridge credits him to being one of the key factors that got him to San Antonio back in 2015 when he was an assistant there. So if he can do stuff like that, I'm happy with the hire.
Brandon, another Boston guy. How do you feel about the hire?
I'm a fan of it. He started his career sort of as a journeyman player. He had to make some strides to make rosters, so he knows what it's like to work hard and to really try to make something of himself. So I can see him helping some late round pick guys or later pick guys help make the team. He learned that from Popovich. He played under Popovich. He coached under Popovich. So the Spurs knew that best at bringing in late round talent and really building it around the team. I think hopefully Boston has some late round picks coming up because we'll be winning, but we might have a couple high picks coming up soon. But I think that Ime, like Ken said, filling in the other spots that we need a point guard. We've needed a center for years. We haven't had that true center for, I can't even think of the last good one that we had. If you want to consider Perkins one, just because he was a big body, that was pretty much it. But if he fills in the roster the way that I think he can, I could see us making some moves and moving up the East in maybe the next 2 to 4 years.
I would really like if it could be a pass-first point guard, which is not something we've typically had in Boston ever, and we always run them out of town somehow. So I would rather a pass-first point guard and somebody that's going to really kind of help sort of usher along Tatum, because I think that's really what it's all about.
No, absolutely. And the players really seem like they like Ime from his time spent with the Olympic team. I think so. That was a good hire. It was a good hire, a good player hire. I really like it. And to Brandon's statement, about the Celtics possibly, looking for a big body center. I know there are rumors. Ken's going to maybe have a heart attack about this, but there are rumors that the Warriors are looking to move Wiseman and pick 7 to get another player. And I know Jaylen Brown's name's been floated out there.
No, I don't want to do this. No. Why are we doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. Just cut that shit out. Like, we're going to piss Jaylen Brown off. We're already pissed off everybody else. We pissed off Hayward. We pissed off Kemba. We pissed off Kyrie. Now let's piss off Jaylen, I guess. Like, come on. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a couple other factors for the Wiseman trade. I can't believe that the Warriors are already trying to move on from him, but I guess I get it, trying to get a third star.
They want to win immediately, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, Steph Curry's window is small, so you gotta think of it one way or the other, right? Yeah. So moving into a little more basketball, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker commit to the U.S. national team. That brings some legitimacy to the national team. I know it's a pretty stacked roster, but I mean, having that leader in Kevin Durant definitely is going to be big. I'm definitely on the Kevin Durant train now after his Game 7 performance and after Ken saying, having his statement on KD. So, but Ken, do you like the KD Devin Booker edition?
Yeah. It's the front end star power that the team needs to probably bring home the gold in all seriousness. I mean, they're probably they had all the star power in the world, but fluky things tend to happen, and this is the guy. I mean, KD, I think, is going to become that next. I think I said this before, but I think KD, as LeBron starts to really, I think we're starting to see, I think, the age of LeBron catch up, and I think you're going to start to usher in that new wave of KD being that elite entity in the league, that star power that people are commanding to play with. I do call foul on him joining the national team for all the right reasons. He joined the national team because he wants to get rid of Kyrie Irving, and this is tinfoil hat time, but he wants Kyrie gone. He might even want Harden gone. I'm not sure about that, but this is his way of going in and kind of making buddies with all this fresh young talent that's eventually going to need new homes. The Tatums, the Bradley Beals, the Bams, the Bookers, the Lillards, who else? Chris Middleton's there, Drew Holiday, all these guys, some of them older than others, but especially some of those younger ones, they're going to be looking for homes someday, and it's going to help when they have, KD on speed dial. That's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory why KD joined the U.S. team.
Hey, I like it. Brandon, what do you think about KD and D-Book?
I like it. I mean, adding KD to the team, any team, instantly makes it 10 times better. I mean, as Ken said, KD is that next guy. Other than the young guys that are coming up, like you guys have spoke on in the past episodes, Trae Young, Luka, Devin Booker, who is showing in these playoffs just how good he really is. I mean, Chris Paul goes down, he steps up. But, I mean, they needed to add KD, really. I don't see them making any real deep push with other countries just getting better and better, with there being more international talent in basketball more now than ever. So you needed, with all of the older players just not wanting to play in the international game just because of the pandemic, and also with just so many miles put on playing so many NBA games, so many international games, or so many playoff games. It just adds to miles. So just to be able to get a player like that has had injuries in the past, has played a lot of basketball this year, it's good that he wants to play for the country. And I do love a tinfoil hat theory. It probably has something to do with it. He probably has other motives for wanting to play, not just bring home a gold for the country, but to help bring home a couple more rings for himself in the future.
That's definitely probably the reason. I mean, I feel like KD never really has a good intention on most things he does. I feel like it all is pretty self-fulfilling. And while I'm totally for it, let's go America. But I'm sure there's some kind of self-fulfilling prophecy here that he's trying to get a hold of. And my nephew's joined us. Hello, Braden. I hope you're enjoying our talk. And Moving into the next segment, we've got the NBA draft lottery was last week, and the top 5 picks were revealed. It was the Pistons, Rockets, Cavs, Raptors, Magic. So each of us are going to kind of give our, what we think is going to happen in the top 5. I'll start off. I do believe there is a, 5 best players and then everyone else. But kind of depends on what each team values. And I think there is a little bit of difference here. My top 5 right now, I've got Detroit taking Cade Cunningham. He averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and shot 40% from the field at Oklahoma State. I think he's the best player in the draft. The Pistons have to take him, right? I know there are some really good players behind him, but he's definitely the best. I know he's been compared to Derrick Rose a lot. I don't think he's a Derrick Rose, but I do think he's a very, very good point guard. Maybe a Damian Lillard, which I think Damian Lillard's a step below Derrick Rose, and I think he could add that to the Detroit Pistons. Then I have Houston. A lot of people think they're going Evan Mobley, but they have Christian Wood there. I think they take Jalen Suggs to pair him with John Wall. Jalen was awesome with Gonzaga last year. He had 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and shot 33% from the field, from the three-point line. I think he definitely brings a flair to Houston. They've had Chris Paul, James Harden, so they've had some guards. Now they've got John Wall. Now they're taking Jalen Suggs, who I think is a budding star. I don't think maybe he could be better than Cade, but I think he could definitely do damage in Houston with John Wall and Christian Wood. Then moving on to Cleveland. So the rumors right now is Cleveland's moving on from Colin Sexton and Darius Garland in the offseason. So a lot of people have Evan Mobley as a top 3 pick. So Evan Mobley's there, but I think they take Jalen Green. Jalen Green averaged almost 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and shot 36% from three-point land. And that gives them a star guard. They're going to get rid of their 2 guards. You might as well bring a star guard back, right? I think Jalen Green is a really, really top talent. I think he could even go number 2 to Houston. I think you could swap Suggs and Green. I think they go 2 and 3 for sure. And then after that, you've got Toronto. So Toronto's also linked with the Warriors in the James Wiseman and pick 7 talks, and they could send Pascal Siakam to Golden State for Wiseman and pick 7, which would make Evan Mobley kind of useless because you would have a center already, unless you plan on running Wiseman and Mobley 2 7-footers at the 4 and 5, which is possible. Both can stretch the floor. Mobley can stretch the floor, but I think they take forward Jonathan Kuminga, who averaged 16.7 rebounds, 2.8 assists, but he definitely was dismal from three-point percentage. He shot 24%. But I think he could fill that Pascal Siakam role. He's 6'8", so he could technically play some 4. And then you still have Fred VanVleet, James Wiseman, and you have whatever you do at pick 7. You could get another guard there, if so be, like a James Bouknight at a UConn. And then going down to number 5, I think Orlando finally gets the center they've been missing since they traded Vucevic and Dwight Howard, essentially. I think they take Evan Mobley, who averaged 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and shot 30% from 3. So he can stretch the floor, and they have tons of good young players on that roster. So I think that would be a perfect fit in Orlando. Let me go ahead. I'll shoot it to Ken. Ken, what do you think about the top 5? Is it similar to mine, or do you have a little something different?
I agree in terms of there being a clear top 5. I think those same 5 guys are going to be picked in some similar order. I think it's really going to be personal preference. Was it Hatchie who said it's the worst year to land a lottery pick? It's kind of true. I mean, you get your choice, but really it's really in flux, and I don't think you really know which one's going to be the best. And I think the best could surprise some people. I do expect Cade Cunningham to go first. I don't think the Pistons are going to get cute. I don't think they've had this pick in, 50-something years. So he's going to join Killian Hayes and Sadiq Bey. He's got some size. He can create shots. He's a playmaker, and he can score from basically anywhere. So, he's got that ability to take over a game when you need it. I expect him to go number 1 overall. Number 2, I think I'm thinking Mobley. And I know they have Christian Wood, but I think he actually pairs fairly well with Christian Wood and Jayshawn Tate. And I think that provides a extremely underrated front court for the Houston Rockets between Mobley, Tate, and Wood. He's kind of like he's a good center. He's got that kind of Chris Bosh, LaMarcus Aldridge type of build to him, and I think Shane in particular might be sleeping on him a little to think he's going to fall all the way to 5. But that's, as I said, it's really kind of in flux. I think this year as to somebody can go 1 or somebody can go 5. I think, or somebody could go 2 and 5. I think Cade is still a slight step above the rest. But then moving on to number 3 is my personal favorite. I think the Cavs are going to take Jalen Green, and I love the kid. And I don't really know why. I don't know much about him. I kind of just started looking into him, and I just think he has that scorer's mentality that today's NBA really needs, and I think he'll fit in really well. He's not like the most polished player. But he's going to evolve into that 20-point per night scorer. And if he can get that playmaking ability down and get everybody else involved and really develop as a passer, he's a home run. I think he's an early front runner for Rookie of the Year because he has that G League experience. And I think he's probably one of the most NBA ready. He kind of gives me that Ray Allen vibe. I really like him. I think he's going to be a really great NBA player for a while. Jalen Suggs, I think, falls to number 4. Great competitor. Really top shelf athlete in my opinion. He's got to get that 3 to be more reliable to, I think, really excel in today's NBA. But the Raptors are huge winners on draft night. They jumped up to pick 4. They can pick the top player that falls to them. And I think he could mesh really well with Van Fleet in the backcourt, especially if they trade Siakam. Then I think the Magic are going to end up with Kuminga. I think there's a clear top 5. As Shane said, he kind of if the Raptors were to take him, he does kind of fit that Siakam role. He's got that like Sean Marion type of mentality, in my opinion. They're that type of play style. So I could see Kuminga falling to number 5. I still think he's a good talent, but I don't think he's quite up to the par with the rest. But in my opinion, I really think Jalen Green. I'm kind of falling for the kid.
I like it. Brandon. So what are you thinking in terms of top 5 here?
Top 5, I agree with both you guys. It's the same players. All those 5 players are going to go in the top 5 in some order. Whether a trade shakes up, like you said, Shane, like whether or not somebody wants to get somebody like Suggs or somebody likes Green more. Ken, you just spoke that you love Green. He played great in the G League this year. I like Suggs more personally. If I had the 3rd pick and it falls the way that I think the players line up, If I were the Rockets, I would take Mobley too. I mean, he was a beast at USC. He did everything you asked. He showed a good 3-point shot, amazing rim protector, very versatile guy, lean guy, moves really well, and could also pass the ball a little bit, like in the nice quick touches and everything like that. But when it comes to 3, if I was to have the choice between Green and Suggs, I would go with Suggs. Playing in that Gonzaga style that they play. Quick passes, quick cuts, always being in the right spot. Suggs was always in the right spot. It ended on a sour note with his buzzer beater against UCLA, and then to get absolutely dominated by Baylor. But he almost every single game the entire year, he showed that he is one of the top 3 players in the league.
I like it. So I was just scrolling our Facebook comments, and I just have a question for you two because we have a little bit of time since Viggy is having technical issues. Mr. Liam O'Brien mentioned that you two were on a kind of a voice chat war during the Halo days, that you guys were on opposite ends. Ken, I'll go to you first. Do you care to elaborate?
Is he talking to me? He can't be talking to me.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
I don't know. He just
I
said.
don't even think I played Halo with Liam. I was actually trash, so it doesn't really matter what I have to say. I'm irrelevant. I think I would probably lose to both of you guys. I would probably lose to Liam. I don't even know it. He is talking to me. What is he talking? Other side of what Halo?
Apparently, you and Brandon were in a voice chat together, and there was. I guess Brandon said that Beverly was shitville. Brandon, care to elaborate?
That was not me. I like Massachusetts. I like the shore. I wasn't saying anything like that. Some people I went to school with did say that. I mean, I played a lot of Halo. I talked a lot of trash back in the day, but I consider myself pretty good when I played. But no. I got nothing against Kenny over there.
Now I get where he's going with this. It's coming together. It's coming together for me now.
Oh, so it was when Brandon hung out with Nate and Jake.
I gotcha.
And then before the show, we were all kind of vibing. And again, we still have a little more time because it looks like the Biggie Bets section might get skipped over tonight. Andy's still having technical difficulties. But Brandon and Ken were discussing their favorite places to get disgusting roast beef.
Disgusting.
Whoa.
So, guys, do you care to elaborate? Give the viewers your take on what you call a three-way, and then at the end we'll talk about Brandon's four-way.
Well, the three-way PG-13 three-way for roast beef is cheese, sauce, mayo. That's the three. You can't take one away. That's a two-way. If you take one away, you're a bitch. Let's be honest. But if you got to go with the three-way. It's cheese, sauce, mayo. You can substitute horseradish, but stick to the three-way. And don't go to Arby's. Don't go to Arby's. It's a New England thing. If you really want one, you got to come up to New England and don't go to like a big restaurant. You got to go to like one of those sort of mom and pop kind of smaller fast food restaurants. That's where it's at. Trust me.
You got to go to one of those hole in the walls.
Onion roll.
They're the ones that do it best.
Yeah.
So Brandon, give us what's the four-way? Enlighten us.
Four-way's the three-way. It's mayo, sauce, and cheese. And then you pick up the top bun, slap on a couple onion rings. That's the real move right there.
And now give us the best place to get this said four-way.
It's tough. There's a lot of good ones around the shore, North Shore. But I got to go with Athos and Peabody. That is a solid beef right there.
Athos is legit. It's fairly new too. But that place is legitimate. It really is. We used to get that when we lived in Danvers all the time. But if you're gonna go, I used to always partake at Bill and Bob's. That was always a favorite place of mine, as well as Nick's in Beverly. I think Nick's is fairly famous. The Phantom Gourmet was there. Dave Portnoy did his thing there. So the Nick's roast beef, I'm sure most have heard of it. That's definitely a top tier place. Nowadays, you'll find me at Harrison's because it's right down the street.
Okay. And Hatch is loving this conversation. He is a big roast beef fan, I guess. But now Viggie's back with us. He doesn't have any more technical difficulties. Welcome back, Viggie.
Yeah, my network just cut out entirely. It was like my computer just wiped out, went black, restarted, and it took forever to come back. But nothing else went out. The power didn't go out. The TV didn't go out. The internet didn't go out. It was anything. It was just the computer just wiped out, and it took me 20 minutes to get back in. Really frustrating. But y'all can hear me.
Yeah, you look a little frustrated, but I would like to say we're glad that the computer came back, but your hair hasn't yet.
Shane got the jokes. I like it.
All right, so getting a little bit back on topic after the Halo voice chat war and Ken and Brandon's favorite place to get beef. Let's go ahead and talk about the NBA playoffs. So it looks like Trae Young's out tonight. Looks like the refs and the NBA are conspiring to make sure the Milwaukee Bucks get into the finals. But remember, if the Suns and the Hawks get in the finals, I'm a genius. I predicted it, and I'm a genius. and I expect to be.
Well, in that case, I appreciate what the NBA is doing then. So that way Shane doesn't look like a genius. We can't make Shane look like a genius. That's just not
Trey's
good.
in trouble, man. I don't know.
But do we think the Hawks are in trouble tonight?
Yeah. I think so. If Trey's out, like it's been reported, then absolutely. Trey is the wheel that stirs that team. It's just like if Steph Curry's on the Eastern Conference squad right now, the way that he's playing and shooting, putting 35 to 40 points up a night, he's their guy. So yeah, it would be hard pressed to see Atlanta go very far without Trae Young. He's been the MVP of the playoffs, bar none, for either side, for either conference.
I mean, you kind of saw what he was doing last game. He had, before his injury, he had 35 points, and
the Hawks 38 or 39. Yeah, he was just going off.
Looked like they were cruising to a win. Brandon, without Trey, you think the Bucks pretty much wrap up the series?
Yeah, no, without Trey, and they have good secondary pieces. They have good Robins, but I mean, Trey is their Batman. They can't win, and I want to put on the tinfoil hat that Ken was talking about earlier. I mean, the ref's foot jumped out there. I don't know. I think that they're in cahoots to make my boy Shane not look like a genius, like Andy said.
Fair enough. So the Clippers won. They made the series 3-2. Ken, do we think the Suns wrap it up in Game 6?
I could see them pushing it to 7, but I still really like the Suns to pull this one out. I can't imagine the Clippers are going to pull this thing with the losses of Kawhi and the fact that Chris Paul's back. I really don't expect the Clippers to pull this series out, but they don't go away. I mean, and to speak on Milwaukee a little bit, I really hope Atlanta can figure this out and Trey can get back, because like, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I feel like Milwaukee doesn't look like they're a good basketball team sometimes. Like they look like they play like uninspired. They don't know how to like the end of the game. They don't know how to close. They don't run plays. They didn't they had timeouts, but they don't call a timeout to move the ball up court, and they're like chucking it up the court. And Giannis can't close. He can't even do anything unless he's getting a running start. It's not inspiring basketball to me. So I do really hope that the Hawks can pull this out, because man, if the Bucks win the NBA Finals, I think it's a bad look for the league, because I just don't think they're a good basketball product. I think they have athletes. Antetokounmpo, they could, he's a fantastic athlete, but he's not what Trae Young is. That's for sure.
No, definitely not like Trae Young. I mean, they've got Chris Middleton, who I enjoy, but he's not what I would consider being awesome for basketball. I think if it's the Hawks Suns, it's the most exciting finals that we've probably seen in a long time, and it'll probably garner a ton of viewership. So for the NBA's sake, I hope that the Hawks and Suns can find a way to both be in the finals. Moving on to touch on the NHL playoffs super quick, because I don't think it's going to be much of a series. The Lightning took Game 1 in pretty handed fashion. Ken, real quick, just before we move on to the Viggy Bet segment with Brandon and Viggy, do you think that the Canadians can make this a series, or are the Lightning probably going to sweep?
It's a very slim chance, in my opinion. The Tampa Bay defense is really on another level, to be honest, and Montreal does have a hot goaltender, but the Islanders almost gave them a series. The Islanders gave the Lightning a series, and I think they were able to do that because they play a gritty type of hockey, and they hit you, and they play strong, and they play tough. And Montreal has those kind of slow down tendencies where they take away shots, and they have a hot goalie, and it's a narrow path to victory, but I think that's their only path to victory, and I don't even think it's that big at all. I mean, I'm amazed that they beat the Knights, really. There's too much firepower in Tampa. I originally said 6, and that series last night made me think 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a series. I think 4 or 5, and that's probably it in my opinion. Before we move on to the Viggy Bet segment, For all you gamers out there, it looks like Xbox teamed up with LeBron James' new movie, Space Jam, to make a Toon Squad Xbox One Microsoft controller. So it is up for pre-order. It does look kind of cool. It just got tweeted to me, so if you're an Xbox user, go pre-order that controller. This is not a sponsored ad.
You are the controller king. You have an addiction to controllers. You do.
It's a nice-looking controller, man.
You buy every controller ever that they print anything on.
I'm just saying, I don't have the new Xbox. I'm a PS5 guy right now, but that controller is nice. If I were Brandon, who owns the Series X, I would consider that controller. It doesn't have LeBron James' face on it.
I have a Series X. Maybe I'll get one.
You do have a Series X. I forgot about that. You should get it. It is nice, and it doesn't have anything to do with LeBron. I think it'd be a nice controller to anyone's system. Okay, like I said, not a sponsored ad. Moving on, Viggy, give me what's going on in the NRFI, YRFI nation.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. And as good as the YRFIs are tonight, it still cannot beat your hair, Shane. I just love the hair. You did a lot of effort tonight. I'm proud of you.
Hey, thanks. I know you've always told me you're very jealous of my hair because you began losing yours at such a young age.
At such a young age, yeah. We won't get into that. I had to go bald just to avoid the balding of it. But let's get into the better part. Let's go into the NRFIs and YRFIs, and frankly, it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde, if you will. The NRFIs 0-2 on the night, kind of a couple tough losses. In Philadelphia, we were one strike away from cash-in. It was a bloop base hit by Andrew McCutcheon that killed that one. And then in the bottom of the first in Milwaukee, 2 outs needed to cash there. Unfortunately, that does not hit as well. Zach Davies has been pretty good in the first inning, but today it did not work out for him. So we did finish 0-2 on the NRFIs. However, on the YRFIs, we are hot right now. We are 2 for 2 on the night. Cash in, thank you to the Kansas City Royals and Whit Merrifield getting on the board right away, not really having to sweat that one with a leadoff homer. And in Cincinnati, where the Padres got on the board early against Tony Santillan, that was one that really looked good from the jump. Blake Snell was scratched for his start due to an illness tonight. He was the one I was really kind of banking on screwing it up. He does not have a good ERA in the first inning, and Santillan now goes to 4-0 on the YRFI since being inserted into the rotation. So we do have one more. The game was delayed in Cleveland with all my network issues. I haven't seen if that game has started yet. It was the Tigers and the Indians. It was Jose Urena, my my nemesis from his days with the Marlins as a Braves fan, always trying to throw at Ronald Acuna Jr. And then Mejia on the other side for the Indians has been kind of a meatball, if you will, in terms of serving up runs in the first inning right on the plate. So we'll see. We'll update you as the night goes on. I'm not sure what's going on in Cleveland right now. If any of y'all know, that would be great to tell me. I'm still kind of figuring out my network situation right now. What's that, Brandon?
Top first. No outs.
Top first. Got it. So we're just starting now. So we'll give you an update as we move along. But yeah, no, it was been a rough week last week on the NRFI seg. It's so much so that I had to start doing YRFIs just for anyone to start liking me and trusting me anymore. The NRFIs are not in a good situation right now. You really have to pick and choose. The YRFIs are where it's at right now. We are hot. We started out 0-1, and now we're 10-5. So we've won 10 of our last 14 YRFIs. So we're doing pretty well right now. We're hanging in there. We're really just trying to keep afloat from the NRFI standpoint, but keep hanging in there. I love playing it every day, and we'll just keep plugging along. Brandon, I know you tried tailing the NRFIs and YRFIs last week. How did that go for you, especially the NRFIs?
My betting year has been a dumpster fire, to say the least. So
You're a college football guy, though.
I cooled you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So one day I believe we went 2-3, and I said I don't want to do my bad juju anymore. I stopped tailing, and I believe you went on a worse run.
A 1-11 streak
Quite a
after
rough
that.
tomorrow.
I took the weekend off because I was at the beach and just said, you know what? I don't like the vibes, even though I'm at the beach. I'm just gonna chill and whatnot. And then I come back and go 1-11. So
sometimes you just got to take a step back.
Or step forward and add the YRFIs. And ever since doing that, 10-5 on the YRFI slate, and overall, I believe 5-3 on the NRFIs since that 1-11 disgusting run. So we're okay. We're trying to hold it together, right?
So Brandon, you are a big college football bettor, and your record last year was pretty good. If there's one team to watch out for this year that could be pretty profitable betting on, what team would that be?
I mean, I'll try to pick one other than the top three that there are every year. I mean, it's Ohio State, Alabama, and Clemson. I mean, betting those three teams, if you're betting those three teams consistently, you're more than likely going to win. If I had to pick another team, I would say Texas A&M. Their team, either Texas A&M or North Carolina, both of those teams have a lot of players coming back, a lot of veteran players, seniors that wanted to return, O-line and D-line that are returning, which really matters. Getting after the quarterback and protecting the quarterback in the college level is really all that matters. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, it will make your DBs better. And if you can protect the quarterback, it will make an even average quarterback better. And with Sam Howell coming back to UNC, they have a couple tough games being in the ACC that they got to play. But if they can get by them, I can see them being a very good contending team.
I like it. All right. So, unfortunately, to Bailey Woods' loss here, we will not be talking MLB tonight. We are going to skip to one of my favorite segments, which is we're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about our MVP and Rookie of the Year predictions, and we're going to get those from each person. We'll start with our MVP predictions. I'd like to go first just so Viggy and Ken can't steal my prediction. Ken looks like he's going to stab me. But I'm going to go with my MVP prediction is going to be Ryan Tannehill.
What? No, it's not.
I do that I was going to get a reaction.
You're full of shit. Get out of here.
So you steal Ken's and you don't want us stealing yours.
It wasn't even mine, but that's like he's.
Well, we know
every
Ken
week.
likes Tannehill and Shane didn't. You told me on the phone you hate Tannehill this year. Now you're picking him for MVP.
All right. Well, mine's Mac Jones.
I've had a change of heart. Okay, Ken almost jumped out of his seat.
Like you've been saying he's like a nothing for years, and now he's not a nothing because Julio's there.
Listen.
Go ahead. Run through all the stats that I gave a couple of weeks ago. Go ahead.
So obviously Tannehill had a good season last year. It was okay. He had 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 INTs. But this year, I think he projects to have a much better season. Obviously, the weapons that are around him, the addition of Julio, obviously has Derrick Henry still. AJ Brown takes a step forward. I think he has north of 5,000 yards passing. I think he throws for 48 to 50 touchdowns. And I think his interception rate goes down. The last 3 years, his interceptions have gone down. He's 9, 5, and 7, respectively. Went up a little bit last year, but I think they go back down this year. They're going to protect the ball. Defenses are going to have to worry about Henry and him running all over them. So they're going to have to still keep players in the box to prevent Henry from going crazy. But also, I mean, that's going to open up passing lanes. But the passing lanes are obviously going to open up running lanes. So I think even Henry could have a chance to be an outside shot for MVP. I think the Titans are going to be very good. Ken, I know I've shit on Tannehill for a while, but I'm slowly becoming a believer. I think making me argue Tua last week is making me more of a believer in players. And I think Tannehill has a really good shot. That being said, Ken, I would like you to go. Then we'll kick it to Brandon, then to Andy, and then we'll go backwards for the Roy.
You're on the right track, Shane, and I say that because I am a believer that the Tennessee Titans are in store for some big things this year. And traditionally, the NFL MVP award is an award that goes to a quarterback, right? And the reason I think is because the teams that are winning and the team that has that NFL MVP is typically performing well because of that quarterback. Because the Peyton Mannings and the Pat Mahomes and the Tom Bradys and the Lamar Jacksons are the leaders of those teams, the focal points of those offenses. There's a different focal point in the offense in Tennessee. And when the Tennessee Titans go on this Super Bowl run, you are going to see the first running back MVP since 2012 when Adrian Peterson did it. I know everybody can say the workload is too high, he gets too many attempts, but he's not an ordinary running back. And I'll continue to say that until he retires and until he's in Canton accepting his plaque and entering into the Hall of Fame. He's the best running back in the league. He's plus 2,500 to take home the honor, which is actually the 10th best odds. That was actually better than I thought he was going to be. I would still take that. He's the reigning offensive player of the year who was utterly snubbed in the ballot last year, did not even get a vote or a consideration despite the historic season that we saw from him. And, you know, he's got a quarterback that is trending in the right direction. Tannehill is no slouch. He's a good quarterback. And now you bring in a Hall of Famer to go with him. Let's remember that I think A.J. Brown, a lot of A.J. Brown and what he does is probably a testament to the fact that you need to stack the box when Derrick Henry is behind the quarterback. He saw 702 out of his 2,027 yards against 8-man boxes. That's 35% of his yardage total. Now you're adding a Hall of Famer. You can't stack an 8-man box anymore. If you do, you're in big trouble. He had, even against 8-man boxes, he had 12 rushing touchdowns. He had 15 10-yard rushes. I mean, I'm having a lot of I'm having a hard time, let's say, finding a reason not to fall in love again for like the fourth year in a row with Derrick Henry.
I like it. I mean, like I said, I think Henry and Tannehill are both going to be factors in that offense. I think Tannehill is going to be a bit more to win MVP, but I definitely could see Henry being a monster. Brandon, who you got for MVP, brother?
Well, first off, I mean the Tannehill and Derrick Henry talk. It pains me a little to be a Colts fan. I do think that they will both be very, very good this year with the addition of Julio Jones and just the O-line being healthy, Taylor Lewan coming back. The problem with Henry winning MVP is, as you said, Ken, he put up a historic year last year, and he didn't even get any consideration. So for him to put up another historic year, there would have to be a large drop-off with other guys. And I look at some of the odds, and, I mean, it pains me to take a guy with, like, one of the non-underdogs. But, I mean, looking at Josh Allen at plus 1,000 and looking at Kyler Murray at plus 2,000. Those are guys that have weapons galore. Stephon Diggs, added other pieces. You got Kyler Murray, runs the ball so much, and has D-Hop, Christian Kirk, great running game. I think that one of those two guys is going to come out on top at the end of the day because it is such a quarterback-heavy award. It's so rare for a running back and never been a wide receiver to win it. So it's so hard for anybody else to get in there.
I see. Those are good picks. And as you know, this podcast loves Kyler Murray. So definitely gaining favor there. Andrew, MVP. Tell us it's Carson Wentz.
Well, we've talked about this multiple times, and I have to be consistent. You know, first of all, when I look at trying to bet an MVP, I look at a couple things. A, it's most likely going to be a quarterback award, as you guys have said, unless there is a standout other positional player type that had a monster season. Like you said, if a running back gets over 2,000 rushing yards, or a wide receiver breaks, say Jerry Rice or Calvin Johnson's wide receiver yards record or something to that effect, most likely it's going to be a quarterback. And when I look at MVP odds, I'm going to look at guys who I can get super strong value on, not necessarily take the Patrick Mahomes of the world or a Josh Allen that are like right there at the top that don't give me the biggest value. Obviously, they're heavy favorites. They're heavy favorites for a reason. I'm looking at Carson Wentz, and I've said this all off season that Carson Wentz to me has the best value to win an MVP, and here's why. He's coming over to the Indianapolis Colts from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's with Frank Reich, who in 2017 had his best season under Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator, of course, before getting injured. That was their Super Bowl season. He comes over to the team that is very talented on the offensive line. That is one of the big factors to me is why Carson Wentz will stay upright, where he had a lot of issues with the Philadelphia Eagles as 2017, 2018, 2019, and then this year his sacks rose every year with the Eagles. And as good as a quarterback as we've seen from Carson Wentz, he's a guy that will struggle if there is not a lot of protection. So I think the Colts are a great fit for him in that regard. And you look at Jonathan Taylor, who I think is going to have a huge season. Marlon Mack's still there. We can't forget about him. But Jonathan Taylor is going to be a bell cow at running back that I think takes a lot of pressure off Carson Wentz to where he doesn't have to throw 40 to 50 times a game. And also I think as a result of that, the Colts will have a strong position in the AFC, in their division, in the AFC South. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Colts or the Titans most likely in that division, unless Trevor Lawrence just goes out of his mind, wins Rookie of the Year, possibly MVP, and the Jags go 14-3 to some regard. But to me, when you look at the Indianapolis Colts, I think they're a team that can win 12, 13 games this season and win that division. Carson Wentz, possibly a 4,500-yard passing season is very possible when you look at the outside weapons of Michael Pittman and T.Y. Hilton is back, Zach Pascal. So they have a lot of weapons around him that I think Carson Wentz can really benefit from. And Carson is plus 4,000 on Vegas Insider to win the MVP. You're telling me that he can't have the season that he had with the talent around him, with familiar coaching that he had his best career season with the Eagles, and you can get it at plus 4,000 on most books right now. So basically, if you bet $100 at plus 4,000, you're winning a ton of money if he comes out, has an amazing season, and ends up winning the MVP if the Colts win the division and are a top 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. I love the Carson Wentz bet. There's, like I said, a lot of maybe better, more favorite guys out there, like a Lamar Jackson, or like Brandon said, a Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers if he plays, and Patrick Mahomes and whatnot. But to me, the value is there with Carson Wentz at plus 4,000.
Awesome. I like it. We've got Mr. Hatch, the leader of the Shane fan club, saying that when I told Ken that he made me argue the Tua segment last week, he said, yeah, making you argue and win the Tua argument. So again, Hatch, I love you, brother. Ziggy, we're going to go back around. We're going to go you, Brandon, Ken, me for Rookie of the Year. Give me your Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, I'm going, and you can call me biased, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, you got to really look at Najee Harris here, the running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers that got drafted out of Alabama. Really, it was the best situation for him. And again, when you're looking at value, since 2010, there's only been, I believe, actually 2007, there's only been 5 running backs that have won the Rookie of the Year award. Trying to pull that up specifically who they were. One of them I know is Eddie Lacy. Remember that name? Eddie Lacy. Kamara, I believe, won Rookie of the Year.
I think AP won it too.
AP won it, but that was a while back. I'm I'm looking at the recent decade. Eddie Lacy in 2013, Todd Gurley in 15, Kamara and Barkley won it back-to-back in 2017 and 2018. So it's definitely possible we could see a running back win Rookie of the Year. But for me, when you look at a running back, they have to have a special season. And to me, Najee Harris is in the best situation possible out of any running back that was drafted. The Steelers are a very, very deprived team from a running back standpoint, losing James Conner, although you can argue he was in and out with injury. That was their biggest flaw last year, and one of the biggest reasons that they fell apart late in the season after really starting out 11-0, 11-1. They fell off and, made the playoffs, but then obviously you can see they just were not the same team. Ben cannot do it on his own. He's just advanced past that stage of his career. He can't throw 40 to 50 times a game. The offensive line's just not good enough to stabilize that unit. And Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers organization as a whole, Najee Harris is the most important player on that team. And if Mike Tomlin's smart and that offensive unit is smart, Najee Harris will have a 1,300 to 1,500 yard season because they absolutely need him to. And if he does that, and guides the Steelers to the playoffs and has a strong record, say they finish 12-5. I'm still getting used to the whole 17 game season count, by the way. I want to say 12-4 so bad, but I remember to say 12-5 or 11-6 or 13-4 or something to that regard. If Najee Harris really comes out of his shell, stabilizes that offense and gets them to where they need to be and expect to be, frankly, that's at the top of the AFC North. You have to look at Najee Harris as a huge Rookie of the Year candidate. I believe he has the third or fourth best odds to win Rookie of the Year at plus 1,600. So again, it's not a bad value play if you're looking at a guy who is going to perform, needs to perform, the team needs him, and will be a huge impact, frankly, for any team. And the Steelers are really the team that he was best suited for. So I think he has a strong season and is a huge candidate for Rookie of the Year.
I like it. Brando, what are we thinking Rookie of the Year?
I really like the Najee Harris pick. I was going to go with that, but I figured if you got the pick before me, you were definitely going to pick one of your Steelers. So just to mix it up a little, I'm going to pick one of two players that got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. I either think it's going to be Trey Lance, because he's going to start over Jimmy eventually, and he's going to put up good numbers in that Shanahan offense. And just like in a Shanahan offense, there's nothing better than that zone blocking scheme. You get a runner that knows what they're doing in the zone blocking, like Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. One injury happens, he's going to be their bell cow. He could easily run for 1,000 yards, dump offs, very good at catching the ball. The end of his career at Ohio State, from the transferring from Oklahoma, tore it up in the playoffs, tore it up in the end game stretch. So I think that one injury away, Trey Sermon, great value. I saw him at plus 3,500. So you take a guy at plus 3,500, even if it's just a flyer, even if you want to put more on Najee Harris, more on one of the higher guys, at plus 3,500, just putting 1 unit, 2 units, you're going to walk away with quite a lot of money.
I like it. I think Sermon's definitely going to have a big year. Ken,
Sermon's a good nod. He fits in well. He screams that next Mostert Breida, the next guy in line there. I agree. Mine is a little bit more of a frontliner, headliner, though not one that I think is expected to win the award unless things really go right. I think I'm going to buy into that Kool-Aid that is Kyle Pitts. I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid. He's 6'6", 240 pounds. He is one of the most physically imposing prospects that we've ever seen come out of the draft. This has the potential to be the next tight end, or should very well, if he lives up to expectations, be the next tight end in the line of Kelsey and Gronk and just that. But really, that freak sort of hybrid tight end wide receiver combo that you can put all over the field and just have that ability to really make plays. And I think you're going to really see that, considering that giant gaping hole that has just opened up in Atlanta with Julio Jones's departure. You're really kind of looking at just Calvin Ridley, Mike Davis in the backfield, and then Kyle Pitts. And I think Kyle Pitts is just by far that generational talent that you read about. He got the most guaranteed money I think a tight end's ever got coming out of the draft. He's that generational talent that gets thrown around a lot. Now, for him to win the award, it would be a revision of history. Rookie tight ends do not typically translate. We all know that. That's not a secret. I don't think any of them have won that award since Mike Ditka, and that was probably a half century ago. So it would be rewriting history, but he has that immeasurable talent that you dream about, that you would see to be the next Kelsey and Gronk. And to me, the comp I give is basically an early blooming Darren Waller. And I think what you see with an early blooming Darren Waller would have been a much higher ceiling. And I think that's what Pitts has.
You stole my guy. You're a bastard. No, that's good though. I had Pitts as my number one. I did have a backup just in case. And I'm going to go with Jamar Chase out of Cincinnati. I think he's got that's definitely the right fit for him with Joe Burrow. Burrow's familiar with him. Burrow's coming off ACL injury. Obviously, Chase was Burrow's number one at LSU. I think Chase has the potential to put up 60 to 80 receptions and anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 yards and 10 to 12 touchdowns. I think he's that kind of player. He's impactful. He's fast. He can go up and get the ball. I saw a couple of comparisons from Jamar Chase to DeAndre Hopkins. So if he can fill those kind of shoes, I think you're looking at the next star receiver in the league. I think he's that good. He adds a different dimension to the Bengals. Even though the Bengals still have Boyd and T. Higgins, I think Jamar Chase is going to come in and assert himself as the number one receiver there without a problem. Oh, look at Ken's kitty.
That's Vin.
Adorable. Gotta say, I'm a huge cat guy. I love it.
Oh, big. We're best friends now, man.
I got two cats at home.
I think Brandon's a cat guy too.
I am. I love dogs.
Oh, then Shane is out of here. We don't need Shane anymore. This is now
Shane
Ask
outnumbered.
Us Cat. Ask Us Cat.
With that being said, we're going to move into one of our most popular segments, which is the Ask Around segment. July 4th special is going to be first. Brandon and I are going to be the judges for this one. Brandon, we're going to have them debate hot dogs or hamburgers. Obviously, those are two delectable dishes that are almost at every 4th of July picnic, at least
Should
that
be
I've
at
been to.
every 4th of July.
Brandon, who gets what?
Let's mix it up. Let's give Ken hot dogs, Biggie hamburgers.
Who's going first?
Damn it.
Age before beauty.
So Andy's going first.
Oh, damn. All right. Well,
Wow, the double whammy. I get to go first and I get
all right,
burgers.
So let me get down to business, get Vin out of the way. Focus. Hot dogs. I have hot dogs. All right. I mean,
Andy's gonna go first. I think he's older than you.
age. Oh, age.
How old are you, Ken?
30.
Ah, shit. Okay. Here we go. All right, 32. Fine.
Oh,
And right before you start,
all right,
Vicky,
Andy, you're up.
Hat said, "Ken, defend these glizzies with your life." All right, Andy, start us off, brother.
Well, to me personally, when you look at the burger, there's not much better. And here's why. So when you and don't get me wrong, I love burgers. Okay. I love a burger.
That sounds very convincing.
I love a burger that has all the bells and whistles on it. Give me the tomato, give me the onion, give me the lettuce, and especially give me a fried egg. If you put a fried egg on a burger, it is just top notch. In fact, when I go out, that's all I make sure I have a fried egg on my burger. But that's to here or there. That's a different debate of what you like on it. And I know Shane is a anti-condiment guy, which I just completely don't understand, especially on a burger, because you have the juiciness of the burger, and you have to make sure when you go to the store and get the ground beef, you don't want to necessarily make it 75-25 because you want to me personally, I don't want a ton of fat and a ton of grease on it. But for me, if you get like a 90-10 or an 85-15, where you have enough of the juices on there when you grill it, and but it's still healthy enough. I still feel like I'm not a whale eating it, if that makes sense. You're really putting the best of all worlds in your mouth. It's the juiciness of the burger when you grill it at medium.
PG-13.
What, Shane?
I said we're PG-13. You're talking about putting stuff in your mouth.
It's a lot of juice in your mouth, man. I have to describe it that way. When you put it in a grill and you cook it medium to medium rare, the juiciness, the flavor, that's what is special about a burger. There's really nothing else about it, because if you cook it all the way dry and all the way well done, and it's too crispy, it's too charred on the outside, you just don't get that flavor that's well deserved on a burger. So for me, when you bite into a burger and you get the juiciness of it combined with all the tomato and all the bells and whistles and the fried egg especially, it is just not much better. And on top of that, you have a beer in your hand while you're grilling. It's a sunny day out. You might take a dip in the pool while you're grilling your burgers. They're just not much better than that life. I'm imagining it right now. I think we're going to use a big pool at my in-laws this weekend. I'm just thinking about having the grill out, having the juicy burgers out, and just living the life this weekend. I'm so excited.
As Viggy panders to Brandon with the beer. Yes, Hatch, I do practice safe glizzy methods.
But man, did I have an argument for hot dogs though? It's a shame. It's a shame.
Oh man,
Jenny,
that's a mess.
what's the word on glizzies?
Well, I want to preface this by saying that you sort of did Andy a disservice, in my opinion, because this is a 4th of July special, is it not? And while the cheeseburger does sort of symbolize that backyard barbecue, it has a little neighbor next to it on the grill. And that neighbor on the grill is essentially turning itself into a 4th of July pastime, and that is the hot dog, my friends. Being that this is the 4th of July, and coming up on the 4th of July, and we have a hot dog eating competition essentially every 4th of July, that's sort of turning into an American pastime. I think it's tough to make the argument that hot dogs are not where it's at. You do have the same type of condiment dilemma with a hot dog that you do with a burger. But I will say, I mean, I'm not here to judge. You know, you could go with the mustard, which is the GOAT. You could go with ketchup if you're under 18. You could go with onions, which are extremely underrated on a hot dog. Onions and mustard together, try that. Chef's kiss. Relish if you're super classy. And if you're like a stoner or really crazy, add a piece of cheese. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but it's good. It's not bad. Give it a shot. It's really good. It can all go on a hot dog, man. Look, he's got a cooked hot dog right there.
This is from Costco, by the way. I don't even care if I lose this debate, okay? This is from Costco. This is the big one, okay?
Yes, Costco.
The jumbo.
Costco, yeah. Or you do the Nathan's bun length. All right, but anyway, did you know that Americans eat 150 million hot dogs on the 4th of July? You know how long that is? That's a line from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles 5 times. That's how many hot dogs we eat on one day. It's also I don't want
to like straight out insane. Andy's just chewing on a hot dog. What is this?
Did you know it's
without the bun, by the way, which I actually think
calories? It's also healthier than a burger. So if you were on the 4th of July trying to keep that beach figure, and you got to make one decision, you got to go with the one hot dog. But that's my argument.
Give the point to Ken. I don't care.
I'm thinking Ken probably gets this one right.
Ken made a great argument, and I mean, once Andy said though the egg on the burger and then the beer.
I'm not blowing it with the cheese argument. You have never tried it, so you can't judge.
I'm thinking Ken gets that one.
I agree.
And I'm perfectly okay with it.
So we're going to continue.
I always get the
theme.
You
I
did.
always
You
get the
did-
bad.
You got shafted.
I always get the one I
Brandon did
never
you
want to
very
debate. So that's okay. I
Brandon,
always
We're going to continue with the 4th of July kind of theme. I know Ken's been dreading because I told him that him and Andy are going to have a secret one. And he's been thinking I'm going to throw out the 2 most irrelevant players. And he's not wrong.
Oh, great.
It's going to be Chris Burke and Giovanni Gallardo.
Who?
I'm about to have network problems again. Just like FYI.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. It's actually going to be water slides and roller coasters. I feel like, theme parks, when I worked in the theme park industry, roller coasters and water parks, that was like a big thing on the 4th of July. People, it's summer break. People want to enjoy. So I'm thinking this time I'm going to throw it to someone. Brandon and I are still going to judge. Brandon, I'm going to give Ken roller coasters. And I'm going to give my man Viggy water slides. We had Viggy start last time, so now we'll start with the beauty this time. Ken, you're a beautiful man. Go ahead.
I'm happy about this one because I did not want to defend water slides.
And I didn't
roller coasters. What?
I didn't want to defend roller coasters. So that's
Okay. Well, roller coasters are the answer. I mean, talk about.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Talk about just you're on the edge of your seat. You're living life to the fullest. It's like skydiving without actually trying to kill yourself. Because very rarely does anything bad happen on a roller coaster. Let's be honest. It's fantastic. You have the initial drop. You go up, and they're long. It's not just a single water slide that goes singular down to the bottom of the slide and it's over. You have hills and valleys. You have ebbs and flows as part of the roller coaster.
Yeah, which makes me puke.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, the water slide, you're at this public place with all these other people, and you're really sliding down in other people's urine. So it's kind of like, you want to sit on the roller coaster over there, or do you want to go to like slide down pee-pee country? I don't want to do any part of that. So I'm sticking with the roller coasters, and I don't think there needs to be much more said than that, because there's no way I'm going in those pools with all those little kids.
That's fair. And some pools do have a chemical that makes the water turn either red or dark blue when a child pees in it or an adult pees in it. Viggy Water Slides, as Hatch has named him. Go ahead, Viggy. What do you got?
Viggy Water Slides. That's fun. I like it. So first of all, for anyone that hates roller coasters like me, and I believe me, I do. I've only been on one, and I swear when I got on it, I said I'm never going on one again. So for me, I'm just A, I'm afraid of heights, and B, I just don't like the whatever you call it. I get sick, motion sickness. I'm afraid to die. First off, I'm gonna just fall out of my seat and puke or anything that's bad. I just hate. I'm fearful of them. I really am. I will never go on one. I know my daughter will at less than 2 years old. She's fearless. She'll run into the ocean by herself, for goodness sakes. Like, she'll do anything. She'll love roller coasters, and mommy can go on them and not me. So anyways, going to the water slides, I'm on the ground first off, on water, on the slide. I'm not in the air. I don't feel like I'm going to just fall down and get, just die first off. The water feels good on a really hot day, okay? And that, to me, is the most important thing. If I'm at a water park, I feel like I'm in heaven compared to being on a roller coaster. I just don't like the ups and downs of the roller coaster. Ken, you can have this one too. For me, when the water slides, it's just there's not. It's just, for me, it's just safer. Safer, more enjoyable, and frankly, the water feels good.
I don't know, Andy. I've seen some crazy dark internet videos where the guys go down the slide and then they just fly right over the side of it, and boom, never seen again.
Well, I've never been to any of those water slides, Ken. I mean, I've been to more family-friendly ones, if that makes sense. And I don't surface the dark web like you guys do. So,
Ken, we have a comment from Out of Bagels. Says he heard from a very credible source that Ken's got his hands on 2 Bowman Sapphires. I just wanted to put that out there.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Out of Bagels went ahead and said that. Interested to hear your sources, Bagels. We'll talk after the show.
I have to have him as a guest.
Hey, Bagels, thanks for the haircut, brother. Anyways, Viggy, so when you say that water slides are on the ground, have you ever been on a water slide? Have you ever climbed up those stairs?
You're muted, Vig.
I know there's water towers out there and like big time fancy water slides that are similar to what roller coasters are, but for me, just put me through one of those like water slide hoops and just let me slide down and into the big water.
So you want to be on a slip and slide?
Yeah, I want to be on those like fancy slip and slides. I don't want to be on those. That's all that that's my limit, man. I can't do much more. I'm fearful about most things. I'm not like my daughter. My daughter is fearless on any stretch of the imagination. So fuck water, fuck roller coasters.
Hey, yeah. Brandon, are we giving this one to Ken too?
We have to. I'm team roller coasters forever.
I will never be team roller coasters, so I'm okay with that. I have two judges that are team roller coasters, so again, I have no chance in winning this.
Now, Andy, you get to flip roles. You're a judge with me. We've got the two Boston boys, and we were talking about roast beef earlier, talking about a Boston staple. So let's go ahead and talk some more food. Some more Boston food. Clam chowder and lobster rolls.
Ooh.
That's tough, man.
And
now the one I can't debate.
Hold on. If Brandon, let me say this: if Brandon, some people don't like them, so if Brandon likes one over the other, I'll let him have it because he's our guest.
I'm not a seafood guy.
Oh yeah, you can't say no seafood. That ruins the whole thing.
Fallacy being a New England guy, but
Brandon, how are you?
Another point for Ken.
Hey, I'll try to defend one.
Brandon, you can have Ken. You can have the lobster roll. Okay, I'm already on your side anyway. So go ahead.
Oh my god.
I like clam chowder, but not as much as I love a lobster roll.
I love them both, man. Yeah, but the lobster roll I think is a little bit easier of a slam dunk because with the clam chowder you could get, if you don't get one that's thick, it's trash. You don't want a watery clam chowder by any means. But the lobster roll is typically fairly straightforward. I mean, as long as you put enough lobster in it. Although I guess you could load it with a little too much mayo. You got to go light on the mayo if you're going to have a lobster roll. The best lobster roll is the one that's not in the hot dog bun because the hot dog bun is too hard to kind of like get it all in there. You want kind of like that hoagie bun type of thing, or like a sausage bun maybe would be the better way to say it. But yeah, it's kind of like that delectable meal. It costs you $25. You can't eat it more than once a month or something because you'll be eating ramen for all your other meals. But it's delicious. I mean, and you can go two ways. You can go with the mayo, or you can have it with the sort of the buttered sort of roll there, which I don't dabble with too much. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. You know, it's a lobster roll. It's very hit and miss, but it is a staple up here. It's delicious. If you go up to Portland, Maine, you will not find a better one. And if you can get the thick claw meat in there, there's nothing better.
I went to Charleston a couple years ago, right on the water, and they get their lobster roll, or they get their lobsters directly from Maine, and it was the best lobster roll I have ever tasted. And I've had lobster rolls here, Baltimore and some places near the beach that I've been to. It just Charleston has not lost to any. Nobody's beaten Charleston. I have not been up to Maine yet. I've not been up to the New England area. So I have had the Maine lobster down in Charleston, and man, it's hard to beat.
Bagels is calling you out for the hoagie, Ken.
Why? He's saying,
"Are you even from New England?"
I know it's not a I know hoagie is not a New England thing, but it is a hoagie roll, is it not?
Brandon, do your best to defend clam chowder. I know you're not I know you're not a seafood guy, but I'm sure you've had a chowder a time or two.
I've had a few. There, you got the New England style, then you got the Manhattan style. I mean, Manhattan style's trash. Most stuff from New York's trash to begin with. So I'll stick with the New England stuff. I mean, personally, you were making the arguments with the lobster rolls. I don't like the mayo ones. I like the buttery ones. You were talking down on the buttery ones. I like the hot dog, buttered on the outside, nice and toasted. You put the nice buttered lobster in there. So I disagree with your argument about the lobster rolls. But for chowder, I mean, if you put enough spice, you put enough kick into it, I'll eat anything. So I haven't had a good one yet, but that doesn't mean there isn't a good one out there for me. I'm willing to try any food once. I'm willing to try any food multiple times. Who am I kidding? I love food. I'm a big guy. So you put it in front of me, I'll try it.
Fair enough. Andy, which way you leaning, brother?
I think we're all big guys here on this set. So we all love food, and I can appreciate Brandon's argument for, trying to put his best foot forward on a clam chowder debate. And I love Ken's argument as well. Just there's nothing better than a Maine lobster roll, because I've had it before. But to me, the comment about, just loving food, and we're big guys, and we are big guys. So, I got to give it to Brandon, my boy Brandon here, because he really came out and tried to put his stamp on chowder. And, I can relate to us all being big guys. So that wins the argument for me.
He won after he said New York clam chowder's trash, or Manhattan clam chowder's trash. So that was all that needed to be said.
Yeah, for our guest, we'll get our guest first point here. Again, Ken has pretty much taken a commanding lead tonight, regardless on the arguments, because Andy's punted every category he's had so far. But now we're gonna move into one more Boston themed ask around with our Boston guest tonight. It's gonna be Alex Cora or Terry Francona. Favorite Red Sox manager. I could do Grady Little too.
No.
But anyways, let's get spicy here. I'm gonna give Ken Terry and Brandon Cora. Ken, I'm gonna have you start this one.
All right. When I think of Terry Francona as a Boston sports fan, I'm really kind of thinking like he's beloved. He's like the class of baseball. You just love the guy. I don't think anybody dislikes him, even people that hate the Red Sox. I mean, maybe they do, but it just seems hard to do. It's just so beloved in the city of Boston. He's the man that ended an 86-year drought. And that doesn't happen every day. But not only that, he had a curtain call in 2008. He won 2 World Series. He's the only manager in Major League history to win his first 8 consecutive World Series games, and just the second manager to guide 2 Red Sox clubs to the World Series. And we have been a losing franchise for a very long time. That takes a lot to change, I think. We've been in the doldrums for a very long time, and he changed that. But he wasn't just a one-trick pony either. He had success in Cleveland afterwards, which was another very lowly franchise. He did not get them all the way to the top, but he did get them an AL pennant. In 2013, he made the playoffs, I believe, and he won Manager of the Year for the AL twice, if I'm not mistaken. He's just a pure classy manager. He's a player's coach, but he's not a player's coach to the point where he sort of, he does command the room, and I think he does lead by example, and I think he is the type of baseball manager that you want. And I know everybody from Boston loves him. I know Brandon loves him. He can't sit here and tell me he doesn't. But for the sake of this argument, I don't think we ever had a cheating scandal with Terry either.
I like it coming in hot. Brandon, Alex Cora. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't sit here and tell you I don't love Terry. I love Terry. He's truly loved in Boston. Even though he's in Cleveland now, he is still loved. Even when the Indians come to town, I've been to plenty of Red Sox Indians games, and he still gets a standing ovation whenever he's there. But I mean, you look at Alex Cora. Year before he came here, won a ring with the Astros. Cheating, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he was involved in it or not. The Astros definitely cheated, but maybe
your favorite word here. Look what Hatch said.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, Cora was a part of that. But Cora comes here 2018. What do? We win 108 games. We win the World Series. He becomes the first Puerto Rican manager to ever win the World Series. The year after, team struggles due to, I would not say it's Cora's fault. It's Dombrowski, the way that he built the team. But really, you look at the year after, last year, the COVID year, absolutely terrible. He gets suspended. He gets kicked off the team. Team is abysmal. You see what impact Cora has when he comes back this year. We're first in the AL East. I think we're only 2 games back of first place in the entire AL. We're, I believe, 2 games back with the best record in all of baseball. That's the Cora effect. Sure, Francona left, and he's done well in Cleveland, but he hasn't done well enough to seriously contend, whether that's what Cleveland's giving him or not, but he's not putting the team over the top. Cora came in, won his first year. He's proving right now that we can win again. Whether or not Dombrowski ruined most of our team, Cora has that player's mentality with the other players on his team, albeit that he's Puerto Rican and we have a lot of Hispanic players, so he has that connection to them. He helps the team. He loves the city of Boston. He played in the city of Boston. He loves being here. We love him here too. I think that he could easily reach 2 World Series and tie Francona in Boston. And if he stays long enough, I think that he will get that 3rd.
I like it. Viggy, what are we thinking here? How you leaning?
It's both had great debates, pointed to their side specifically, but I've got to go with Brandon, and not just because he's the guest. I was hoping that Brandon would bring up the fact that, you look at what the Red Sox accomplished in 2018 and winning the World Series and then 2019, but then COVID coming in 2020, just kind of obliterating the whole sport. But, the whole cheating scandal and whatnot, Cora was fired. You saw how, the Red Sox just dipped and it looked like they were a completely different franchise. And to me, I thought, well, maybe that's just because they need to rebuild. And then they hire Cora back this year, and now they're in first place in the American League East, and they're one of the best teams in baseball. And it looks like they didn't skip a beat. And Alex Cora has a lot to do with that. So I'm going to give it to Brandon because he did make those points. Not that Ken did not have a great argument, but I got to give it to Brandon on that one about Cora.
So hear me out for a second here while I defend Ken in his argument. So Francona came in after the Grady Little era, and that team, yes, they made it to a ALCS and lost on the Aaron Boone home run, but that team was obviously in shambles. They thought they could never beat the Yankees. They went down 3-0 under Francona in the 2004 World Series. And as you know, when we talked to Gabe Kapler, Vig, he said that team had no idea. They thought they could have a shot, but they were really expecting to go on vacation after Game 4. They thought they were going to.
They were nicknamed the idiots, right? They were the idiots.
Yep, and Francona really led that, and that was. I've got to go with Ken here, just because Francona brought the first World Series to the Red Sox in however many years it was, and I think Ken's argument was a bit more compelling. I love Cora. I thought Brandon's argument was strong, but I think you have to go with the man that, started it all. He's the reason the Red Sox have these World Series, right? So, I don't know.
Well, for sure it's not Grady Little.
Yeah.
Well, so what are we going to do about this, Shane? It's kind of divided here.
As the main host, my vote counts as 2. Ken wins.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, we can't let Hatch decide because he has a vendetta against me. So you can give 2
Hatch decides then.
The first ever 2-point Ask Us round.
Well, I'll take a half one if you agree to it, Ken.
Oh, I'll take the half. Yeah.
I think we're 0.33. You just start the show.
It's hard for my tallies to do halves, so Ken gets a whole. But anyways, before we get to the collectible corner, I just wanted to bring up something I saw last week. I think it was last week. There was this New York Rangers reporter for Fanside. I forget what the site's called. And he also runs a New York Rangers podcast. And he had a really hot take. He said that sports fans aren't allowed to say "we" when talking about their sports team because they're not a part of the actual franchise, which I highly disagree on. I think that guy's a moron, and why he's employed by Fansided. I mean, it shows why he's employed by Fansided. They're not a very great site. I mean, they treat their writers like slaves. I know he does host a a New York Islanders podcast that gets quite a few views, but this guy's an idiot. I think if you spend money towards your team, and you consistently spend money towards your team, you're a part of that team because that team can't win without fans. I think we saw it during COVID. We saw teams play uninspired when they were in stadiums with no fans. Fans really bring a different aspect to the game, and I think fans are an important part of the game, which make you an important part of the team. You're spending money, you're paying salaries.
Agreed.
I think that guy's an idiot. I think that take is the worst take in the history of the world.
Yeah, that's a really bad take.
What you guys thought on that?
That's a really bad take. If you're paying money to go see a team perform, like you're paying them money so they can run that organization. God damn it, it is a we.
Oh yeah, heavy we.
With the amount of money
people who say that just don't understand sports at all. They don't understand the unity that sports provides everybody, especially, and that's what we missed during COVID. When sports was not playing, was the unity. And that's really what we needed most between COVID and everything else that was going on in the world at that time last year. COVID, sports was really the kind of the thing that brings everybody together. And of course it's a we. I say we instinctively when talking about all my teams because I own jerseys. I own other memorabilia from the Steelers, the Braves, so on and so forth. And if I go to games, I'm investing in that team. I'm investing.
Capitals as well?
What's that?
Did you also forget you have your Capitals merch?
I do have a Capitals. Yeah, I do. And I started investing in the Capitals as a fan a couple years ago. Perfect timing with winning the championship in the Stanley Cup and whatnot. But nonetheless, you're investing in a team. You're investing in your team. The team can't run without the fans who are investing money. It's just a no-brainer.
Well, and there's also another intricate part of this story that kind of adds a layer. Apparently, because Twitter's full of degenerates, a Twitter degenerate actually went back in this guy's tweets, and literally 15 minutes before he came out with that tweet, he was talking about the Islanders as a we. We need to do this to win against the Bruins.
No shit, really?
Yes.
You are one of those Twitter degenerates, by the way. You are the best Twitter sleuth I know.
Well, I didn't say that I wasn't a degenerate.
You're good, man. If I need somebody on the case, if I would ever get scammed in cards or something, I'm gonna have Shane.
Oh, I'll find their
passwords for you. You're gonna find.
You're like the big cat. You're like the big cat of the show. So if anybody has problems with their flight, they contact Big Cat. So if any guy has problems with cards, they contact Shane.
Yeah, or just any Twitter beef. Just let me know. I'll find people's numbers.
Yeah,
I'll hook it up.
Twitter sleuth extraordinaire.
Shane works from home every single day, so he has time to do that.
You work from home too. Shut the hell up.
Well, I'm going back to the office in a couple months. You primarily work from home, man. So that you give it to you.
I have to. My office is in Dallas.
Move there.
I heard Texas is great.
They don't have American Standard doesn't have offices in Florida.
No, Dallas. Brandon, but I wanted to get your take on that. You think that's a pretty bad take too?
Awful take. You guys are 100% right. This old mentality of just believing that you have to report on the news and you can't pay attention or you can't truly be a fan of your own team just because you need to report on it is trash. If you buy in, if you watch the team, you grow up watching the team, you invest your time, you invest your money, you You invest everything. It's anything you love in life, not just sports. You can say we with. It's okay to do that. It's okay to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't just – he wasn't talking about just reporters. He meant every fan wasn't allowed to say we.
But no, it makes it even worse then.
He said that's his hot take of the century. But then, obviously the Twitter degenerates like myself went and found out 15 minutes prior he was talking about the Islanders. So
Shane's a part of the cancel culture.
I wish I could find this guy's Twitter. I can't remember it.
Get him canceled, Shane.
This guy was like the big loser of the week for sure. He was like one of
Cold takes exposed him.
The loser of the week.
Yeah, essentially. And Hatch is loving this talk. He also said that he saw what sports without fans was last year, and then he said I beat him to it, which is natural. I beat a lot of people.
I would rather see fans than the cardboards, and I would actually rather see chairs than cardboard boxes. They were just awful.
So you wouldn't want to see my face on a cardboard box?
Can't, Shane. Can't. I'd rather see you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You're a bald, beautiful man. A BBM.
Ooh, did we just invent a new acronym, or is that?
It's an acronym I'm not a fan of.
Whoa, where did he go?
Oh, well, Shane must have said. Shane must have ended it on that note.
We're still alive, so hey.
Yeah. I'm back. I just hit the wrong button. My bad, guys. My bad. I pulled an Andy. I didn't.
See, I didn't pull. It was a complete.
It's okay. It's okay. I didn't send out the show studio link like Andy. I just backed out by accident.
Show's off the rails.
I'll never get that.
Completely off the rails.
I'll never have to live that down, I guess, huh? I always have to. That'll always be a memory from Shane.
But moving forward, that was a great talk, great segment. But let's move into our collectible corner. Ken, what's ECBC pulled this week?
What are we pulling? Well, the last week was, let me remember, it's been a whole week now. I think it was Top Series 2 was what we were doing, some flagship Top
Series 2, yeah.
product. We were pulling some Cronenworth, big fan, Kirillov.
Oh, UFC as well.
Oh, yes, and we'll touch on that. Brian Hayes, Jazz Chisholm, all the Hot 21 rookies of this class as they pertain to Season 2. But tomorrow is actually a very big stream. You can find it on my Twitch page at that right there. Kembo J Slice is also my Twitch page. So if you want to come by and support the stream, I'm trying to get affiliate. I'm very close, actually, so it could happen tomorrow. We're going to be doing 2 breaks, a 3-box Top Stadium Club, best photography of the entire season. So it's really, really nice product. Very excited for that. 3 boxes, so 6 autographs. Jay Catch will be waiting for his Boston Red Sox auto, I'm sure. We'll see if that comes to fruition for him. And then we're going to do a Chronicles 2020 hobby. Still clinging on to the 2020 love. Still some spots available in that, actually. I have not sold the Chargers or the Bengals, which is not usual. Happy to keep them myself if nobody wants them, but I want to spread the love, and we've pulled some nice Herberts out of Chronicles. But that's on tap for tomorrow. And then
what's the price on that, Ken? Because I might be interested.
Which one?
Either one.
The Bengals are 70, and the Chargers I think are 90, but I'll check.
There are some other teams available too that are.
There are cheaper ones available too, but those are like the 2 biggest teams generally, and those are usually 2 of the first to go. But
I think
this time.
My opinion on that, where they're still around, is I think people are saving up for the National.
Could be.
Getting ready for cards to either spike or dip a little bit. Maybe they think with the 2020 rookies, maybe they dip a bit, but I think Burrow and Herbert are always going to be big sellers.
Well, with the National kind of right around the corner, I think that's kind of like a Kickstarter for a lot of momentum in terms of it sort of turning over to the 2021 football season. At least that's what I expect anyway. July is kind of when you start to see the football product comes out that you're not really seeing as much of the college jerseys or the college uniforms on the product, which I know is a big selling point to people. But there are some nice college product that we're looking into. And yeah. People are definitely budgeting a little bit. You can tell they're looking for deals. They're looking for, they're really looking for things that they can bring to the National. So I know, I'm not one who
Big shoes too, Hatch.
I'm not one who can talk much about the National as someone who's never gone, though it is in Atlantic City next year. That might be a little formidable. I might be able to pull that one off.
Imagine the degenerates in AC.
Yeah, I might be able to pull that one off, but this year, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. I know Jay Catch is going. I'm going to defer to him, and he'll be our if you have any questions, talk to that guy. He goes to the National.
I have to get him on the show to report live from the National.
Yeah, we could do that for sure.
He could be like our weather woman.
At least ECBC will be represented this year. We'll represent it in person next year, rest assured. But it's nice that Hatch will be there this year. I got to send him some business cards, have him drop those off.
I think Cameron and McGee are going as well.
Oh, are they?
I think so, because they're in Nebraska, so I think they're just driving down.
Oh, nice. Maybe I'm gonna get him some shirts or something. Get a rep.
Hey, Ken, let me get the Bengals on that break. Let me help you out.
Oh, word, yeah. All right, Viggy Betts is back,
dude. It's the degenerates back.
Yeah, I'll mark you down, my man. Thank you.
My YRFIs, I've done the last few days.
Oh, yes, that's
being
true.
Successful with that gives me an opportunity to come in.
Yeah, man. We're all about it.
Hopefully, God knows I still can't make up from that 1-11 streak, but
hey, maybe
we have some fun.
Maybe this will turn around. You'll be able to pull a couple big burrows, and maybe you'll get a Burrow autograph. Imagine how crazy that would be.
Man,
well, it's not just Burrow, Shane. I'm thinking about, is Jamar Chase in there?
No, this is
rookies in there. Oh, this is 2020.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
Burrow and Higgins.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I mean, you're bound to get a few Burrows, and if you pull a Burrow auto, you're in extreme.
Yeah, the Bengals are actually hotter in 2020.
I'll take my chances.
21. I think for 21, everybody's jumping on, obviously, Jacksonville, Chicago, San Francisco, and who did I forget? Who the hell? It's not New England, but Lance and
the Jets count.
Fields. Oh yeah, Zach Wilson. Thank you. That's who I was forgetting. Yeah. Those are kind of the big teams.
Oh, it's Zach Wilson, and Michael Carter might be pretty good too. The running back.
Yeah, I mean, personally, Atlanta's a good one. Cincy's a good one. Philly's a good one.
I just think, with the National coming around, one of the things was to talk about National prep a little bit. I think, I think getting some big cards and some breaks might be profitable, especially if you're going to the Nationals.
We do have some 2021 on the horizon. Bagels is hooking us up with that. Bagels is coming through big time, man. I owe Bagels. I owe out of Bagels some TLC, I think.
But Ken, so tell me a little bit. I know you're trying to move this gold label. Do you have it handy to show Brandon?
Yeah, let me find it. I'm trying to. So this is like basically what Shane's talking about is I'm trying to sell this so I can fund some other hobby stuff. So get the glare out of the way. Topps gold label out of 5. It's a dual auto, but you can't really. It's Tatis and Vladdy. So it's by far the best card I've ever hit in a break. I did not pull it myself. Friend Gary actually pulled it for us in one of his breaks. I've been trying to sell that for a number of weeks. I listed it a month ago because I'm trying to get somebody who wants to bring it to the National because I think that's where they can really make it shine. Hatchie and I are going to a show on the Boston Causeway in July. Is it the week after the 4th? It might be next weekend.
It's the week after the 4th. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to see if I can find something there to sell it because I'm not even against trades. I just got to meet a certain trade value. I'm a little picky. I've gotten
how much you have it listed for?
I'm sorry.
Tell Brandon how much you have it listed for.
It's listed for over $2,000 right now.
Woo!
I got a good offer, but I was like, it was less than what I wanted to sell it for. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold off a little bit longer and see if I can bring it to a card show because while I love it, I want to flip it into some other stuff. So, and that's kind of what it's all about. It's tough to sort of buy those big ticket items, but luckily I hit that big ticket item, so I can sell that for some other stuff. I have this weird fascination with wanting a Patrick Mahomes rookie because I tend to think that he's like an investment more so than a card. So I'd love to sort of flip some of that into some of these newer guys. I'm falling in love with Julio Rodriguez, the Seattle prospect, so I need to get that before he is the next Ken Griffey Jr. But yeah, it's all about kind of figuring out who you fall in love with, and my Derrick Henry collection is kind of busting at the seams, so I got to figure out who else to add to that.
For sure. No, but I mean, like we said, the National is big. It's coming up. If you're here for the cards, get ready for it, gear up for it, especially if you're going Hatch. I'm super excited to see pictures and for you to bring me back one of those National packs. I'm sure you're going to get one.
Ooh, the National packs. Just
bring me back one, and I will give you any Ask Us merch that I ever make for free. Hatch said, "Don't buy Kalinick." I mean, that's. But I've had a great time with you, Brandon. I appreciate you taking some time out on your Tuesday to. I know you work long hours. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit. I know you really don't do a lot of social media, so I won't tell you to tell us where to find you, unless you want to plug your Instagram and you want some IG followers.
Hey, you can find me in Manchester, New Hampshire. I mean,
where it almost hit 100 degrees, right, Brandon? 100 degrees in New Hampshire.
We are in a heat wave.
It is brutal today.
Oh,
I think you can find Brandon down in Massachusetts too. I think he spent some time down there too. So maybe you, Hatch, and Ken can meet up to get a 4-way.
I'll be going to the Red Sox game tomorrow.
A 3-way eating a 4-way.
Whoa, what are we getting into here, Shane?
Just respected units,
I missed the first part.
Oh, the 4-way is the super beef 3-way with onion rings on it. Come on, everybody knows that.
Hatch said he's into that only if it's at Kelly's. Is Kelly's good, Brandon?
It's not anymore, man. It's not.
Yeah, it's one of the chains. So
it's a chain, and you don't get what you pay for. It's like $22 for a small beef. It's not good.
That's a lot of man.
No, it's like $22 for a small beef and like 5 French fries. Honestly, and a soda.
I think we're on to something with this food talk. Our viewers keep going up every time we talk about food. So I think we're on to something here.
I'm willing to go get another hot dog if it helps the ratings.
Well, Andy, no one wants to see you eat any more hot dogs. Trust me.
No more glizzies. Come on.
Save that for after the show, pal.
The after show.
The after show where we talk about.
Hey, Brandon, how's your softball team?
We talked about that earlier.
I wish you didn't ask me that, man. Last game, the Heat. I mean, I'd say the Heat got to us, but it wasn't hot the last week. We sucked then. We sucked even worse.
Are you still in the regular season?
Yeah. Our season goes until playoffs start first week of August. So
what was the score, Brandon, of your game yesterday?
Final score was 17-5 or 17-3. Sorry.
Do you play double headers?
No. We play twice a week.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, our playoffs last week, we advanced to the top 3. So we play in the semifinals on Thursday, and then the winner plays the team who's undefeated for the championship. It's a double elimination. So we lost one game last week, so we have to win out. We have to go 3-0 essentially to win the championship. So we have to win the semifinal and then win 2 straight games against the undefeated squad. So
if you didn't know, Viggy's an all-star. We call him Viggy Softballs.
That's right.
Imagine Mo Vaughn. Imagine Mo Vaughn playing softball. That's Viggy.
I see a little bit more of Willie Mo Pena.
That's a good comp right there.
Hatch's volleyball team is 12-0. No big deal. Good for you, buddy. But anyways, it was a great show. I had a great time. Again, Brandon, thank you so much. Ken, let us know where we can find you.
Oh, you know where by now. It's at Kembo J Slice on Twitter. Though, if you are looking to get into the card game, I'll flash the same card I do every week. There we are, ECBC. There. That's us. That's our cards. or that this is our card, but with the cards we break will be happening tomorrow. You can scan that QR code if you want to get in our Discord. Come stop by and hang out. And if you want, we'll be live tomorrow. You can check out some breaks. There will be some giveaways for the people on the stream too as well. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you.
Viggy, let me know, man. Tell me where I can
Yeah,
find you.
I'm excited for the break. Tomorrow. Is this tomorrow, right? The one I'm coming in?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure to be there. But you can follow me on I always get it wrong. I always start over here. You can follow me on Twitter at ViggyBets. YRFI and NRFI plays daily. The NRFIs went 0-2 on the day, but we did go undefeated. We swept the board on the YRFI slate. The Tigers-Indians game ended up being postponed, so nothing there, but did go 2-0. So 2-2 overall. Not a terrible day. But you can see me on Viggy Bets on Twitter, and we'll just keep churning out those plays every single day. If you enjoy it, follow, and let's win some cash together.
Awesome. And as always, you can follow me at Ask Us Sports or at S_Miller_27 is where you can normally find me. If you have any questions, you want to ask the show, please tweet at either account. Tweet at all of us, actually. We'll answer any questions. Again, thank you so much.
I was just gonna say, when you do those questions, when you send questions in for the show, do hashtag ask around so we know what that is for.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely do that. But again, Brandon, I appreciate you so much for sacrificing your Tuesday night to come on. I hope you had fun. It was a fun show. It was a fun show for me. I'm sure it was a fun show for these guys. Again, we'll definitely look forward to having you on again. Everyone, you have a great night. Love you guys. I'm smoking more rock, shot it, and I feel it seating. I might take off on you,